Hello and welcome to another edition of the GetGrowing weekly work session with GetOiling. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by Colin, the incredible Colin of our team. Hey, Colin, how's it going?
How you doing, everyone?
We're really excited to have you here today. We are going to be talking about designing the navigation strategy for your website. Specifically, we are going to be talking about your website menu. So we're going to get into that into detail today. We're going to talk about the strategy around it. We're going to talk about how you can go about setting yours up effectively in GetOiling. And of course, if you're brand new to GetOiling, to having a website, then of course we're going to talk about where you can get started if you feel like some of this is over your head. If that's the case for you, you're in good company. Most of us did not get started doing any of the things we do today because we wanted to be experts in having websites. We really just want to be the best at what we do and being able to share oils, get them out into every home in the world. And of course, if you have a business that you run alongside your Young Living brand partnership, then of course you want a place to be able to nurture, grow those leads, grow your audience and your brand. And you can do all of that right here in one place with GetOiling. So go ahead and head into the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. It's always exciting to see who is here from where in the world. You are able to use GetOiling everywhere in the world as a brand partner. It doesn't matter where you are. We have compliant tools for your locale. And of course, tools that help you duplicate and grow your business. So if you are operating as a personal brand, maybe you do have another business that you run alongside, you can run that with your GetOiling. Or of course, if you want to keep it super simple, super duplicable, you can use us just to share and share well, share effectively, and of course, to duplicate your success. So again, welcome. Excited to have you here. We're here every Thursday at noon US Eastern time. Colin and I are going to pop out a video. I'm going to get into our slide content. We've got some slides to get into with you here today, but the bulk of what we're really going to be doing is show and tell in the GetOiling system, because it is really important that you know how to go about getting this set up. Your website menu is such an important piece of your getting out there strategy. So I want to make sure that you are really comfortable with what it means to get this done. Let me make sure that I've got my Q&A out here so I can see that if that pops up while I'm in these slides. There we go. All right. Thanks, you guys. Let's get into this. All right, so today we're talking about website menu design. We're going to talk about how we can strategically, intentionally set up our navigation scheme on our website, meaning when someone reaches a place on our website, where do we want them to go, and what do we want them to do next, and how can we set up that navigation so that we can get what we want out of having a website. All right, so today we're going to talk about really just the basics, making sense of website menus. We'll talk about best practices in constructing yours, and then we'll talk about how to set up and customize your menu using your GetOiling system. And then as always, we have live help and Q&A. That's why we're here. This is a live work session where we get to do work together. So if you are working on something, even if it doesn't have to do with menus, go ahead and add those questions to the Q&A if you're live here on Zoom. And if you are watching this as a replay, be sure to come and join us sometime. GetOiling.com/weekly work session is where you want to go if you want to get onto these live Zooms, be the first to know about what we have coming up, and of course, be the first to get replays and resources. If you'd like to work together on a live call like this one, you can go to getoiling.com/website review. This is an opportunity for us to work together on a call just like this one. We reserve the second half of these calls for one-on-one work. And if you would like to hand off your project to someone with great expertise and skill, you can. Our team is here to help you. Getoiling.com/concierge is where you're going to want to go to learn more and get started. All right, now head over into the chat. And this is for everyone, whether you are just getting started with creating a website, or you are well on your way and you've maybe got a lot on your plate where your website and online presence is concerned. When you think about having a website, what are your goals? When you decided, yes, you know what, I need a website for my business, what were the reasons? And are those something you feel that you can clearly articulate? This is the most important thing that we need to know before we move forward, right? If you want to construct a great navigation scheme for a website, right? If you want to have a really great menu for your website, then you kind of want to know what you want your website to do for you, right? It's kind of like, thinking about a building, perhaps, maybe trying to construct a hallway when you don't know what the rooms are that it connects to, right? So we've got to be clear on what we want this thing to do for us and for our business. Now let's think about the specific instances. For you as a brand partner, you have just a couple of categories of people who are going to arrive at your site. Now, there may be a couple of unique use cases. If you feel that you are one with a unique use case, then please make sure that you head into the Q&A or the chat here. We can absolutely discuss what those things are. You may have that in common with some other folks who are here on the call today. So when a lead visits your website, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to get on a call with you? Do you want them to sign up for something? Do you want them to go purchase something without interacting with you at all? What does that look like if a lead visits your website? What about one of your customers? What if you want your website, if you have goals with your website to serve your existing Young Living customers, or maybe you have additional business offerings that are complementary to Young Living, right? Maybe you're an AFT practitioner, something like this. What do you want when one of your clients, what do you want them to do? See, what action do you want them to take when they visit your website? What about someone who's on your team? Do you want your website to be a resource for the folks who are brand partners with you? So in order to move forward and create a clear strategy, we've got to start with clear goals. So generally speaking, this is what this is going to look like for all of us, right? Visitors, so just general visitors, anyone who comes to your website, if they don't already fall into a category, we want to capture those visitors who like us and what we have to say as leads. We want them to put their name and their email address into a form on your website so that they're someone that you can email whenever you want to about whatever you want to, right? You want to collect leads. You want to build a list. That is what we want as goal number one. We need a list of leads. So if they're a visitor to the website, if they are the right fit for us, we want them to become leads. If leads maybe come back to your website, right? Maybe they've come and they've read an article on your blog and they're coming back for another one. We want leads to engage in what I like to call a conversion event. Now, a conversion event may sound complicated, but it's wildly simple. Essentially, if you think about your business as a linear sequence, where there is step one, where somebody says, yes, I want to hear what you have to say. So they become your lead. Now you have their email address, their name, they're on your list or in your system. There is a step in between that, becoming a lead, and the exchange of currency, right? Of them paying for something, becoming a Young Living customer, maybe becoming a private client of yours. There is a step in between that is a conversion event. Now, for the majority of us who are brand partners, that's going to be a conversation. It's going to be a consult. You're going to meet on Zoom. You're going to meet in person. They're going to go to a class, right? There are people out there in the world of social selling that'll tell you that you don't have to do this. But I think we have a collective, probably hundreds of years of experience in Young Living, looking at the list of folks that I know personally that are on this call. We have a lot of collective experience in growing Young Living. We know that conversations are what makes relationships, and relationships are what keep people in Young Living. So a conversion event, let's just go ahead and say this is going to be some type of an interaction with you directly, correct? And this is going to be true as well for anybody who is a practitioner or service provider of any kind, right? In order for someone to decide that they're a fit to work with you, you also kind of need to decide that you're a fit, that they're a fit for you as well, right? Before you take their money and decide that you're going to work with them. So if they are a lead, we want to have them engage in a conversion event. So book a time with you, schedule a consult, maybe a free initial consult with you. If you offer wellness scans, offering a wellness scan, right? So some kind of a conversion event for our leads. Another option here as well, maybe the leads have been on your list for a bit. We want them to make a purchase, right? If you offer something in your store, if you link directly off to Young Living product, if you have some kind of an offer that you sell, a course, etc., we want them to make a purchase. Now, if they're already your customer, if they're a Young Living customer, maybe we want them to learn more about product when they go to your website. Maybe we want them to go straight out to the Young Living website and look at product and add it to their next loyalty order. And of course, if their team, they want to learn about the business, maybe we want to provide a way for people who are already on your team to learn and grow there, right? So here, these are some examples. You don't have to have these exact goals, but your goals are probably going to be somewhere in the vicinity of these. So your site navigation strategy is what helps you achieve these goals. Okay, so when someone, no matter what category they fall into, lands on your website, it needs to be intuitive, simple, easy for them to go and get what they need from you, or they're not going to come back. This is why it is so important. And it's also really critically important when we start thinking bigger picture about your brand, especially for those of you creating content and blogging. If you want great search authority in the search engines, you need to not have a high bounce rate. And bounce rate means somebody visits your site and they bounce right back to that back button where they came from because they saw that what you have there is not what they're looking for. Right? We need to eliminate that as much as possible, provide people with a clear path toward the things that they want, right? So your menu is crucial to the success of your website, whether we're talking about the near term, the people you have access to right now, or the big picture where we're talking about building and securing a legacy brand for your business, right? So let's talk about what your menu needs to do. First, we need an intuitive structure for new and returning visitors to find what they need. And then we need to create a narrow, that means deep, not wide, think rabbit hole path of engagement toward your goal. Now, we know as people who once did not know what we know, who now know what we do, especially in the field of wellness and where it pertains to the application of Young Living products in our lives, we get excited at the idea of somebody who has a curiosity or who has an interest in the stuff that we know. And we want to immerse them in the wide world that we know. But what's really important for us, if we're going to grab and keep someone's attention, is that we not go wide. Because wide gets people looking side to side. And you know what we see when we look side to side? Squirrels. And then we chase them and we completely lose the path that we were on in the first place. I know you know what I mean. You deal with this yourself. This is a phenomenon of the world we live in now. So we want to create rabbit holes on our website. We want to create limited, deep portals, basically, for people to engage in a way that satisfies what they came for and also satisfies our goal, which is to move that lead toward converting, right, to a conversion event or converting to a sale, right, moving that customer toward that depth of knowledge they're looking for so that they add a product to their cart, etc., right? And so the way that we go deep, the way that we keep this narrow is by only showing what's needed to achieve the goal. And this is going to be difficult, especially for those of you who have put a great deal of effort into building lots of different types of content on your website, right? There's a innate and completely understandable and correct desire to want to put all the options out there so that anybody who could find it will find it and appreciate it because you put your hard work into it. But I want to caution you, because of that squirrel chasing mentality, right? We want to go narrow, we want to go deep, not wide, and engage toward the goal that we have set. We want to create a user experience that keeps them clicking deeper into your website, right? Not showing them everything that they could click on so that they could skip out when they think they haven't found what they're looking for, right? So only show what's needed to achieve that goal. And that means, unfortunately, we are not in our menu or otherwise going to flat on a sheet of paper, essentially on your website, list out every single page, every single offer, every single thing that somebody could engage with, because that kind of defeats the purpose of how the website works. The website works to create tunnels, right? Rabbit holes toward that end that you are seeking as a business owner with strategic goals, right? And of course, along the way, we are engaging the visitor toward that, right? Not everybody's going to make it all the way down the rabbit hole, but we want to provide the best possible path in that direction. All right, so here are the basics of your website menu. you want to make sure that if you're going to have a menu on a desktop that displays wide, right, where you have, you can see the titles next to each other, not in a drop down, but titles next to each other, we want to limit the stuff we have up top to 4 to 6 max. Now, this isn't a GetOiling design limitation. This is psychology. There are actual studies that have been done tracking eye movement and cursor movement of visitors to website pages. There is a top number of options that, that basically becomes too much too fast. This is a sweet spot. 4 to 6 top level options. All right. And the other thing that you want to consider here, and again, this is rooted in psychology, rooted in empirical studies, you have the highest impact options. So the things that you most want people to engage with on the ends and not in the middle. Obviously, we would love for anybody to find everything on our website that would, anybody who is interested in us to peruse to their heart's content and find everything they're looking for. And we want them to find what they're looking for. Obviously, that's why we're going to be logical in the choices we make. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But if our goal, and this should be the goal, I believe, for everybody here, if our goal is to convert more leads, that should be a top goal for everyone here. If our goal is to convert more leads, then we want to have options that get people in touch with us on one end and options that introduce people to our expertise and have those rabbit hole pathways to opting into our list on the other. Everything else lives in between, right? So about me, stuff like that lives in between. Highest impact options on either end. People best remember and connect to and react to the things that they're first introduced to and last introduced to, right? We tend to forget the stuff in the middle. And then we want to make sure, of course, we don't want to be cookie cutter, right? We do want to keep things kind of interesting and engaging, but it is possible to be too clever for your own good. So start with clear, start with very clear, logical meaning when you're doing this, and then you'll find the refining language that maybe just has that nice balance of clear and clever that's on brand for you. So clear over clever when you're naming these menu items. All right. Now, if you have a lot of content, and I know that's a lot of us here, if you are someone who has 8, 9, 10 top level menu options, you probably have a lot of content that you've created. I want to congratulate you for putting the effort into the work that you do, and it can still serve you really well. But I want to encourage you to create category pages. All right, so a category page would be, for example, if you do a range of work, right? So people can work with you by becoming a brand partner. People could work with you by scheduling a wellness scan. Maybe you offer wellness services of some kind adjacent to Young Living. And then maybe you also sell courses. So there's all these different things. And maybe you have 4 courses and you've got 2 different packages to work with you one-on-one. And then of course there's Young Living. You want to create a category page. So a work with me page, then you're going to have some subcategory pages, right? Here's the work with me page is going to point to the courses page. The work with me page is going to point to the packages page. The work with me page is going to point to the Young Living page, right? All of these things do not and really should not be displayed in the menu itself, because again, what we want to do is drive depth of engagement, right? We don't want them to land on the home page and then decide their final page they're going to visit. We want them to land on the homepage and then go in the direction they want to go and be satisfied with what they see there and choose to take that next step and go deeper. That's going to make you look great to the search engines, and it's going to do a lot to keep your person engaged and interested, right, with your website. So create category pages that satisfy the organizational goals that you have, that again, create that rabbit hole of clicks toward what you want to achieve. And remember that your website, meaning the front-facing stuff, the pages, right? Your homepage, your blog, all of this stuff that looks out into the public world is the best place to serve your leads, right? To provide your content, your blog posts, to share your expertise, to talk about what you do to the world. But for your customers and team, where you're going to talk about Young Living products, for instance, in depth, right? Especially where there may be question marks around, can I publish this? Because obviously there's a lot of compliance that we need to adhere to in the way we conduct ourselves in public. If you're trying to have more candid conversations, if you are just wanting to really provide just a little bit of curiosity up front, but have all of the good stuff behind the curtain where you're really getting into here's how we use product, your member area is where you want to put that, right? So if you really want to go into great depth about how you use Ningxia, you want to put that in your member area, but write a blog post about the benefits. What do you get out of using Ningxia? So talk about the benefits and then say, I've got an entire article, but it's in this members only area. And all you need to do is set up a free account to get the products that I recommend. So, do this and then I'll get you into there, right? So your member area is the best place to serve your customers and team. All right, so let's talk about an example here of how we might set up our navigation. So a learn menu, if you have lots of educational resources, a learn menu is a great place to kind of silo all of those resources into one space. Remember the rule 4 to 6 though. If you've got bukus of stuff, you might consider creating category pages that you go off to from the learn page, and then they can go into those other places. So your blog can fall under the learn category. Your events can fall under the learn category as well. Resources, you could have a category page here where maybe you link off to different free offers that you have. I think it is really important to note that if you are someone that has a lot of funnels, you don't need to put the front door to those funnels in one place on your website. Remember, we're creating rabbit holes. So put the appropriate funnel at the end of the appropriate rabbit hole. You don't need to have those all in one place. But if you do have a primary funnel that you're focusing on right now, and that's one that's maybe selling an offer that you have, then of course you could put something like that on a resources page here. Don't overdo it. Resources here can be, it can link to external places, right? If you want to talk about green living, these can link to blog posts that you've written. So much you can do there, right? Your member login can be here, right? Because how do you serve your customers? You educate them, right? Where do you educate them? Your member area. So put the member login under learn, right? Now, if you have courses and stuff, I might choose to just have a login top level menu item. We could certainly discuss that if you guys have questions here. And about, this is standard. I think it's important for you as a brand. This is really a very basic thing that you ought to have on your website if you don't have an about me page. But this is just going to go to the about me page. There's no drop down menu, no need for it. You just go straight off to that about me page. You could have a work with me page. And again, this would just be a category page, work with me. You could include all options, direct link off to where they go from that page, or, again, however your conversion event works, right? However you like to get people into a one-on-one with you or send them off to purchase whatever it is that you are offering. And then finally, over at the far end, and this should always be here. This is actually something Neil Patel talks about. It's one of the foremost experts in this type of stuff. Your contact option, it needs to be the last thing that they see. So contact doesn't have to mean, you don't have to say the word contact. It can be book a call, right? It could be get in touch. And you could simply link the contact form here, and that'll just pop up the built-in contact form in GetOiling. You could send them off to the landing page for your booking funnel where you have them answer a few questions before they're then redirected to a place to get on your calendar, right? So this would be an optimized example of what navigation could look like, because generally speaking, for everyone that's here, you're a Young Living brand partner, you may have an additional business. What you want to have here is a place where people know they can go to get learning resources, where they can learn about you if they don't know you yet, and then where they can learn about what it looks like to work with you, what they'll get from that, and then finally how they can get in touch. Now, again, if you do other stuff, you may see a slight variation here, but you'll notice that I only have 4 top level options here. So you could still add a couple in if you really felt like you needed to. But the general idea is we want to group things into simple and logical sort of silos of or columns of what it is that you offer, and provide people the most relevant options in that direction. And then really intentionally create a funnel of clicks, right? So if they go to learn, they go to blog, and they check out your latest blog post, I really hope that in that blog post, you have linked to a landing page where you're offering a free thing that they can opt into, right? Or a call to action for them to book with you, right? So that blog post provides that rabbit hole experience. You send them to a resources page that's going to have maybe links to blog posts that you've written, links to landing pages, right? Your member area, of course, depending on how you're using that, those are their own little rabbit holes. An About Me page will absolutely have some kind of a link to book with you after they've read your story. They really like you and they want to have a conversation. Work with me, of course, that's obvious. We're going to be sending them toward where they can take action, and then Contact sends them straight to your door, right? Well, your virtual door. All right, so let's go and see what this looks like when we set it up in the GetOiling system. All right, so I am in Jane's account here. Let's go take a quick look at what hers looks like. And you can see we're a little busy here, right? I think book a call belongs like just at the end here. But we do, I think I created these, I think just in a demo once. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of these. And yeah, we're gonna come back over to here. We're gonna go to menu under website and blog. And I'm going to delete this live events, but I'm going to go ahead and add events to this learn menu. So I've got a learn menu right here. So I'm going to come down here, click add item to this menu. And what to show if item is clicked. I'm going to go find my event list. There it is. And I'm going to call this events and done, right? So now we have gotten rid of this. And now this one, this really ought to be either a category page or something that lives in the member area, right? But if I am talking to a lead and the lead is interested in, kind of getting acquainted with Young Living before they get started, then I might have links to all of these different things on a page, right? And then maybe I've got a Young Living category page that I put under the Learn menu. That's what I would do here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, this Young Living menu header. Oh, I think I have to actually delete these guys first. And another thing that we could do, because I want to have that book a call be the thing that is at the end of the menu. I'm going to drag that down. Did you know you can drag these? There's book a call. I'm going to delete events because we've already done that. Let's just take a quick look at this and just see how much cleaner that looks. And this actually falls within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is between 4 and 6. So this is fine, right? So about isn't really the most important thing for them to see first though. So I'm going to adjust this. So I'm going to move the learn up because I want people, or I'm going to move about Jane down. There we go. Because I want people who are new here to dig right in to the rabbit hole stuff, right? So here we go under learn. I can go to blog. I've got a freebie here. I've got my favorite things page, and I've got my events. This is great. Again, if I go much bigger beyond this amount in this menu, I should be turning these into category pages where I go off to a, well, the events is a category page, right? The events, like the blog, is a digest of a lot of things, right? So you could have another page in here, like for instance, one that is Young Living, right? And that page could have all of this information on it. And that's actually what my preference would be, because if they want to learn about Young Living, then that's where they're going to need to go. So I'm going to delete these specific pages and links inside of this menu. And of course, I will put the Young Living page. I have a website page that is, here we go. Why I'm going to use this Why Young Living page, which I already have created. And I'll have that included here as well. So when I save that, we've got an even simpler view here, right? And again, we've got Learn, which provides a lot of great opportunities for them to dig in. Members can go become a member, place an order, log in, see current promos. This is all fine. And then what do I really want people to draw their eye to? If they're a lead, I want them to book a call, right? I want them to come over here. I want them to fill out this form, and then I want them to get on a call with me, right? So that is really an optimal way to set this up. If you want to see what it looks like when you shrink it down to a small size, it turns into this little hamburger menu right over here in the top left corner. And you can see that these menus expand, right? Which is pretty cool. Now, let me take a quick moment and show you guys what it looks like to actually create one of these menus that has all of this stuff in it, and maybe also what it looks like to create a page like this one that just links straight off to the URL. So what we'll do is what you should know first is that there are menu headers and then there are menu items. Let's go take a look. These are all menu headers. Learn, About Jane, Members, Book a Call. Those are all headers. And then these are items, blog, events, gardening journal, etc. Right? So what we'll do is we'll add a menu header. And this is going to be Work With Me. And then this is just going to be a menu link. And I'm going to click done there. And then this Work With Me menu, maybe I will have a, maybe there's a Young Living page in there, or maybe there's, here we go, there's a wellness survey. I'm going to add that as an item. There's a website page. There we go. We can add another one here. I wonder if I have like a scan. Here, I'll do that one. Best way to get started. We'll put that under Work With Me. And so we can keep adding these things here if we want to. So that's how you create a new one. But what if you want to create one that is a link? So maybe I want to go to a Work With Me page on my website. So I'm going to start from scratch with this guy and actually delete it and then show you how to create this header. So add a menu header. This is going to be a website link, I think. Yeah. Website page. There we go. And this is going to be called Work With Me. And then we're going to go find, no, it is going to be a website link. Just kidding. So this is going to be, there we go. Forgive me, you guys. All right. If you want to have something like, so let's just say, for instance, this one here, About Jane, right? I'll show you how to create this right here, About Jane. So what you're going to do is you're going to create your menu here. This is going to be About Jane, menu header, and then you're going to put the link to the actual page right here. So in this case, I'm going to copy the link and paste it here. And then I'll hit done, I'll hit save, and then we can actually see About Jane shows up right over here and it's clickable, right? So you can create just a single clickable link, or again, you can create a drop down as you see in these other examples. All right, let's see. Oh, great. Thank you for that question. These questions, Jolene. So what if you want to create this button situation here? So that book a call links to a URL, right? So there's the link that I'm sending them to. So see, it's menu header. I've given it text. I've given it a link to that page on my website. And then we're going to select our button. So I already have a button style set up here called teal outline. And you can adjust your button styles over here in your website menu on colors and fonts. If you go down to button colors, you can see I have one called teal outline that I've created where I've got a white background color, the colored text, and then a colored border. So I've selected that, and that is how that header style shows up here. The other option would be, and we can just go back over to this About Jane if we wanted to change this one. Header style is link or button, right? And then you just get to choose whatever the button style is that you want. Okay, and then the other question, can you explain in more detail the difference between contact me and work with me? Because I thought the purpose of contact me was essentially booking a call. Yeah, let's talk about that. So this is going to really depend greatly on how you prefer to run your business, right? Again, I know a lot of us who are here don't all do exactly the same thing, and most of us don't share Young Living exactly the same way, right? So I'll give you an example. If you are someone who is a wellness practitioner of some kind, who also has a Young Living customer base and team, and maybe you give talks, you are going to want to have a place on your website where people who know that they want to work with you as a practitioner, maybe you've been talking about it on social media, etc. You want a place where you can send them to where they can learn about working with you. But if there's an organization, and maybe you're just getting started with speaking or something, maybe there's an organization that would like to hire you to do a workshop, but it's not something you do yet. We want to have a place for people to just send general inquiries, right? Or, again, if you're out there in the world, what you really want to be doing is moving people as quickly as possible to your point of conversion. Again, assuming for the majority of us, our point of conversion is a call or an interaction one-on-one in some way. You want to gather information before you have that call, even if you're belly to belly with someone, even if this is your bestie for 17 years, you need them to fill out that same questionnaire so that you can give them the best duplicable experience with Young Living products. So I always want to have that book a call or that get in touch, like that way for people to connect. I want to have that be something that's in the menu, because for people who are ready, right? They've been reading your blog posts, they've been following you, they're opening your emails, etc. When they're ready, we want them to see very clearly and obviously exactly where they need to go. And the whole purpose of our website is to move as many people as possible to that point, right? So when they're ready, we just want that to be a glaringly obvious, beautiful place for their eyes to go and say, yes, that's where I need to be right now. And is it slightly redundant potentially, from, let's just say, your point of conversion for the other things that you sell on your Work With Me page is a call with you? It's fine, because the people who aren't yet decided on whether or not they actually want to talk to you, they might need to see a little bit more context and learn a little bit more about the different ways you work with people. So there is going to be some overlap in the different places in your website for function on a purely functional level, right? Like you're gathering people's information and sending them to a calendar link. You could do that straight away, but for some people who aren't ready, you want to give that extra context and then send them over to that same place you would send a very ready person. Feel free to give me some follow-up questions if you got them. All right. When you want to have About Jane under I'm not sure if there's like a little bit of a typo here, Debbie. Can you help me understand your question a little bit more clearly here? About me or about us, etc. That's just a very standard thing to have in a menu. And you could forego it, but if you're someone who's going to be showing up in front of strangers, which I hope that's the goal for all of us who have a website, you want to make sure that you have that there. Under a main header. So yeah, that is actually a main header. So there's basically the menu has two options, right? And you can see them displayed here. We have two options. We've got the kind that you can click, such as this About Jane one that goes to Jane's About Me page, or one that has a drop-down list of things where you could click and go and peruse whatever, the learn stuff is that you want to check out, right? So About Jane this is still a menu. It doesn't go away. It's very much there. It should be in the middle, right? Because it's not as important as the rabbit holes and the call to action. And let me just like delete this extraneous Jane one here. But yeah, you do want to have an about. That's going to be really important for the people who are maybe trying to decide whether or not you're someone that they want to connect with, whether or not you're right for them, etc. And it's also, I think, a really important place to share your story, your testimony, and to really be the compelling proof that what you're doing and what you're offering works. And the best place for that to live is on your About page. All right, would you give an example of how to build an AFT practice as an example? Yeah, so what I would do in that case for AFT is I would have, I'd come over to here and I would maybe have a work with me menu. So if for work with me, we could either have a page, like a category page that is work with me, just like we have about. This is just a about. You could have a page like we have an about page that is a work with me page that talks about AFT, right? But if you do AFT and other things, then you might have that and then you're pointing off to other pages from that one. So yeah, essentially what you would do, I'm not entirely sure if I have a work with me page. Let's go look and see if I have a work with me page. Well, there's a work with me section. We'll just pretend like that's a whole page. Yeah, so what I would do here is I would either create a menu that has multiple pages that goes, this one's about what is AFT, this one is, book a free consult, this is returning clients, something like that. So you can have an AFT menu or a work with me menu that lists those different ways to work with you, or you could just simply have a work with me like I have an about here. I'll show you the latter, which would be quite simple. Let me go back here and find the URL to this page. All right, yeah, so here we go. This is I have the page link. And so now this is the menu header. This is the URL, and this is work with me. All right. There we go. So I would put, that's header text. Just kidding. This is work with me. And our URL goes here. Yeah. Voila. There we go. Links to URL, work with me. And then let's go take a look. And you can see it here. Now, if you are like wanting to not just have general book a call available, by all means, make work with me the thing that you draw the eye to and exclude book a call, right? So I'll delete this one and then let's change this work with me here to that teal outline button. Right? And this is also a perfectly fine thing to put here because again, we're moving people toward that point of conversion. All right, I want to make sure that we are reserving some time here. Let me see. Annalie, are you here? I don't see you here. Annalie, if you're here under a different name, I know you had signed up for a live review. So yeah, if you're here, feel free to let us know and we'll bring you out to chat. Otherwise, let me see if I can get into the chat here, see if I missed any questions. Let's see. Book a call instead of, so yeah, on this site, book a call is here in lieu of contact me. And contact me is a built-in option that you can use, right? And by the way, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the simple path here. So let's pretend that you are, I'm going to find this account. Here we go. And we're going to log in. This is someone on a seed plan. We can view the site right here. This stuff is already built in. We've got a learn menu, right? And this is the about section on the built-in theme. All of these are things that you don't have to worry about. They're all built into GetOiling. There's an opportunity link. There's a contact me that pulls up this cute little thing right here. There is a place an order that goes off to your Young Living link, and this is all built in. Now you do have options here with the menu. Well, there's the upgrade my plan, but in your customize my site, you can choose what goes into your menu, right? So if you want to have the, whether or not you want the opportunity, page to show up, right? So you can choose whether or not CBD shows up, etc. Right? So all of these are things that you do have the ability. And again, this is our most basic, it's like our $7 a month plan. You can see that that this is basically done for you. You don't really have to worry too much about this. If you're only using your GetOiling site for sharing Young Living, it's kind of already worked out for you and you're good to go, right? Okay, want to make sure that that was covered. Because I did promise to show the simple path here. And the simple path is it's done for you. You don't really have to worry about it. All right, Dawn, when I have a GetOiling site, is there any reason to also have a MyYL site? So my understanding, and it's been a while, I haven't seen or really used anything from MyYL in some time. There had been sort of like custom bundling options to create unique links and stuff via MyYL, but I know that at least in the US, you can do that with wish lists. So, I would say, yeah, you do need a GetOiling site if you want to have your own website, because GetOiling isn't just a website. In fact, and this is the most important thing, that what you get with MyYL, while it is unique and it is directly tied into your Young Living, it's not giving you a contact manager, which you absolutely need to grow your business. It's not giving you follow-up plans, the events manager, the blog feature, like all of the things that you need to have a presence and show up long-term. You're not getting that through MyYL. And again, it's been a while since I've interacted with it, so I don't really remember what you're getting for it now. If somebody would like to chime in that uses MyYL, I think that would be very welcome here. And maybe share your experience in the chat. Let me see. You can use all the simple pre-done paths with the upgraded plan, Debbie. That is exactly correct. Yeah. So when you sign up for GetOiling, when you get started, you don't have to customize anything except putting in your story and photo. When you put in your story and photo, you've got a complete website. All of those menu things are functional, they're operational, and we've already asked you for your Young Living member number when you signed up. So everything is coded and ready to go and start sharing. So you don't need to do anything until you're ready. And then just do the thing that you need to do and keep everything else as it is, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep adding on as you need, and you'll create something that's really unique and useful to your business. Sheila says, I usually use just the wish list to know MyYL. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody else has experience with that, definitely feel free. And if that's a great conversation to take over to our Facebook group as well. We've got a lot of amazing people in there who are super active. Let's see, can we sell without having a store? Yes, absolutely. If you have a basic or higher plan, you have pages, custom pages on your website. And on those pages, you have payment forms as an option. You also have at basic, you can sell a course in a vault. So you can sell member area content as well. So no, you don't have to have the store. The store is really set up for e-commerce. So if you're somebody who sells stuff, or if you want to have like a cart checkout experience for the things that you sell, the store is a fantastic way to integrate that. A really great example, I don't know if you're here today, but our just absolute gold star pupil queen of design, Paula, Pastor Paula, she has design services. She teaches people how to make their Young Living websites gorgeous, and she creates clergy stoles. And she sells patterns for them, and she actually makes and sells those things. So a store makes a lot of sense for Paula because she actually is creating things and shipping them out to people, right? But Paula, pretty sure you were selling stuff on her platform before before we had the store available. So yeah, you can totally do that too. Also, you're here. Hi. What is the best class to start with for customizing your website beyond the initial things? And also, can we use Stripe and display CBD products? 100% no, you should not display or talk about any CBD products whatsoever if you're going to use Stripe. They do not care that we are not actually sellers of CBD. We're just referrers to a company that is. So what you want to make sure you do, and there is no reasoning with them. They do not care. They're not going to have a conversation, and it will be an absolute pain in the backside. So what I want you to do is come over here again, back to customize my site. And this is true for any plan. Of course, you aren't selling anything with Stripe on your website if you're at seed plan, but right here, uncheck show CBD products. Remove that if you plan to sell anything using built-in Stripe in your GetOiling system. Can you have a shop for Young Living products? So I would recommend that you check out the the trainings that we've done on our store, I actually have shown how you can maybe take like, a picture of Ningxia and then point off to the Young Living site. It's not going to add it to their cart though. So you could absolutely. But I think that the more effective use of your time and resources would be to maybe have category pages or, have some kind of a page on your site that talks about the different products. And then maybe there's a wish list link or your leaf link that has your unique code on the end of it, so that if they go and they add the Ningxia or the diffuser or whatever to their cart, they become your customer if they're not already. But this is a great, use case for those wish lists, and also something that I believe MyYL does. So Beth, getting back to your question here about the best class to start with for customizing your website beyond the initial things. Initial things can look very different for a lot of people. So can you tell me a little bit about your goals? And then I can help with sort of the direction there, and maybe pointing you to a resource. I think that the best path, if you're wanting to customize your website, if we're talking about a page on your website, is to kind of follow a specific process or flow, which is, what do I want this to do? If I were having a conversation with somebody, what are the topics that need to be covered, the questions that they need to have answered, the objections that they might have before they say yes, and then how do I ask them to say yes and get started? Right? And then you're just building a page that has that conversation with them, anticipating the mental response that they have. But when we say website, we could also be talking about the menu structure, the blog, etc. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for, and I will answer as best I can. Rhonda, you've had your hand up for a while, and I would like to address you, but I do want to double check and make sure that you do have a question. I don't want to just bring you out to chat if you don't want to chat. Okay, your hand went down, so maybe you're good. Oh, okay, cool. I wanted to let you know I wasn't ignoring you. Okay, we're going to find more information on building landing pages. Yeah, let me show you guys where to find information on everything. First things first, Success Academy. This is a great place to go if you're looking for sort of answers to bigger questions, right? So I want to learn about setting up a funnel to collect leads. I want to learn about creating my member area, etc. Right? If you're in the middle of a project and you have very specific questions, you're going to find right here where it says get help, you're going to be able to type stuff in and find answers and get articles, often with videos that are going to get you answers to your questions. Lots and lots of stuff in here on all of the different features and topics in our system. Now, if you're looking for overviews for trainings and so on, there's a few places you can go. We do have some sort of common projects listed here, right? So here's learn how to make a site, create a web page, edit a menu, right? That's along the lines of what we're talking about here today. But if you want to go into greater depth and detail, online resources and courses is going to be great here. Generally speaking, to go back to Beth's questions about where to go, where we're talking about customizing our website to your brand, this Brand My Business workshop, which is going to be under online resources and courses. This is a complete course, and it has templates. It's got short videos, it's got exercises that you follow, and then it's kind of like a plug and play situation to edit the templates. That is all available for you right here. So that would be a great place to start if you're looking to embark on a project, right? So generally speaking, these courses are going to be great if you are embarking on a project, right? If you are looking for targeted, answers to questions, this little get help guy right here is great. Getting help from a real person is another option as well. You are here on a call that is this one right here, actually either of these two on the bottom, but there's also a group call. If you guys don't know about this, I don't know if y'all know Pam. We don't normally have Pam. I don't think she's available during the hours that we do these calls. But Pam on our team is an absolute whiz in design and copywriting, and she builds websites. She is brilliant, and she offers group help calls. So these are free to you. So take advantage of these. And then of course, you can always go to live training and replays. And this, if you type in what you're looking for, this will search our YouTube library of these calls, right? So these Thursday calls, they all say they're an hour long, and they are all in fact an hour long, but the information you're looking for is typically about 4 minutes in and lasts about 20 minutes, right? It's a 20-minute training that is inside of what is essentially an hour-long call, because we want to be here with you guys for the full hour. We like spending time with you and answering your questions. Okay, let's see. More questions. I love them. All right. Yep, Success Academy is the answer to most questions. Yes. I'm very excited to see what you do with your website menu. Awesome. Okay, Dawn, how important is having an app created for your site? Would you wait to create an app until you have a larger following, or would having an app help create a larger following for AFT oils, other modalities, and products? All right, so this is my candid point of view. This is my perspective. And this is coming from someone who has been in this space with personal brands, indirect selling, and just personal brands generally. So speakers, experts, practitioners for going on the better part of 20 years now. Apps are cool. It's cool to say you have it, but they have a very short shelf life in the attention span of your people. And even folks that I have worked with and who I have followed closely for decades in this industry, even the ones who have followings, and I mean email list followings, not just I have millions of social media subscribers. That is a vanity number that really does not amount to dollars. But the number of subscribers, active subscribers you have, absolutely can be measured in dollars, right? People with millions of email subscribers don't have successful runs on apps for the most part as personal brands. If an app has a purpose for someone on a day-to-day basis, and you intend to make the function of that app a business unto itself, then you may be onto something. You need a really good developer who is your developer, right? Who can deal with all of the updates. You need a really compelling reason for somebody to want to add yet another app to their device, right? I generally advise against having an app of your own. Now you can use ours, and that just basically means you're telling someone to download the Attract Well app, and they can get everything that you do. You don't have to worry about the coding, and they're going to get all of your stuff, right? And if they happen to purchase a course or something like that from someone else who's a part of our awesome community, they're going to go into the Attract Well app. It's going to be in there anyway, right? So if you want to have access to someone via an app, definitely recommend you check out our app-based trainings and resources, because what I would 100% use ours first and kind of gauge. We even have a playlist on the app here. I would gauge how that works first before investing dearly into an app. It's a weird field, the app world. All right, let's see. Yeah, I would focus more on building an email list, honestly. Building an email list and getting people engaged on your website, getting people into your member area. That's another thing too. There's a barrier to entry with an app, right? Somebody has to go to the app store. They have to download the app. They have to update the app. They have to actually open and engage with the app. And similarly, if someone wants to get into the content that's in your member area, they have to go to a website. They have to put in their email. They have to then, navigate, etc. If you can get 10,000 people to do that on a consistent weekly basis, then invest in an app. I would do that. All right. Hey, Paula. Yes, we could absolutely do that. Let me pull you up here. We can take a minute to do that for sure. All right. I've got you here. You can unmute. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to pull this up and we'll take a look together. Always so excited to show people your website because it always looks so good. Ooh, I love it. All right. So learn. Okay. Ooh, book signing. Nice. Okay. Got the shop. We got the work with me. Great. And then your contact, that's just going to pop up your contact form. Yeah,
Yeah, so
this is great.
that's not my opening page. That's my blog. Did I mess up my home page?
So I went to paulabarons.com. Oh, weird. It did go straight to the blog. Here we go. Well, this is also great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe that was a recent I don't know. Maybe it's in my history or something. All right, yeah. So I think it looks good. I think that in terms of the the width of it, I think it's behaving very well. So it's clean. It's within the range of 4 to 6. So let me see. All right, so we've got blog. What I might consider, and this is going to vary widely based on what you know of your audience and what you know they know and what they respond to, etc. So something like this, like what is the aroma freedom technique, I think is really great because you're posing it as a question and you're not using the acronym. So this is helpful. This, depending, like, I don't know if this is a brand. I don't know if this is yours, like something that you've coined. So tell me a little bit about, because it looks like these might both be about AFT. So what is AFT and then what is inner learning freedom? What's the difference between these?
Inner Learning Freedom is the name of my nonprofit. It's the name of my company, Inner Freedom Ministries. And so this is just a page that it is a lot about AFT. It's similar.
Okay. It's a beautiful page, by the way. Really, really well done. Okay. So then
Maybe I should put that under work with me.
potentially, yeah, depending on what the call to action there is. Because I think with Learn, what we want to do is this is a great opportunity to focus on keywords, right? So I think aroma freedom technique is a great keyword to include here because that may actually be something that someone is searching for. But if there are other, you want to think about maybe SEO keywords that you could include here, or keywords that are representative of very specific interests that somebody knows that they have. So a learn menu is where we want to trigger recognition in people. So so if there's a way potentially to frame these things from that perspective, right? From what are they looking to learn about right now? Right. And what would they want to learn from you? So if they're landing on your website, they've seen you on social media, they've met you somewhere, they've heard you speak or something like that. There's a couple of different ways that you approach teaching and educating people. And I think one of those is going to be essential oil based, right? So learn about essential oils, learn about the power of emotion, learn about what else, right? And so that way we can still talk about these topics, but we're going to place them in the context of what that person is interested in, because that's going to compel them to actually click that thing and go dig deeper. Once they land there, like if this is, the power of, the power of aroma and emotion, then people are going to be like, oh, what does that mean? And then they come over here and then they're introduced to aroma freedom technique, right? Because now like they want to learn from you. They're like, okay, well, what can she teach me? These need to speak to something that would make them curious. And then you can say, here's what this is. So instead of saying inner freedom learning, you could say, whatever inner freedom learning does, or some of the topics it touches on, and then you can introduce them to that on that page. It's still like it's still the same substance of the page. We're just giving them a more compelling reason to click.
I think I might move it down to that button that's showing right now that says learn more here, because that's the little section that's on the Inner Freedom Ministries right there. That might be a better place to put that.
Yeah, well, and another thing that you could do if there's sort of a primary strategy here of them learning about Paula, but then also learning about Inner Freedom Ministries, if they want to participate or what have you, you might have an About Paula and an About Inner Freedom Ministries page under About Me. Under Learn, maybe there are topics. I mean, it kind of depends on how you want to structure or separate or integrate you and this Inner Freedom Ministries brand.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, that gives me some ideas.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm always so excited to see what you come up with. It's really inspiring to see your work. So thanks for coming out, Paula.
Thank you.
All right. If you're having troubles with getting people engaging with the app, you're not alone. Getting people to engage with apps it's the hardest thing that people with apps deal with. So you want to incentivize that behavior, maybe provide certain incentives and benefits to people who use the app. That maybe you only provide those links to them via those push notifications. There are ways to change behavior, but you really have to put in really a lot of thought and effort into making that happen. It's just true about apps generally. And it's similar but less true about member areas. Because again, they have to log in. It's making people take an extra step. And that just means that the people who are engaging with that content, whether it be in an app or in your member area, those are the ones that are the most dedicated. And you want to incentivize that dedication. All right, I have a main header Learn and then Ningxia Red and then drop down. Can I add drop downs under Ningxia Red? So you're talking about breaking off into like a tertiary menu. We don't have that feature as of right now, but Debbie, that would be a use case for a category page, right? So where you would have Learn, and then there would be maybe my favorite Young Living products, and that's a category page. And then you talk about Ningxia, and then you have Ningxia stuff on it, and maybe links to all the Ningxia. So you're kind of creating pages. Remember, it's a rabbit hole, and they don't need to see the entire path, right? This is not Google Maps. They don't need to see the entire path of the rabbit hole to get them clicking. In fact, we don't want them to, right? Because we want the curiosity to compel them. That's what keeps our little child brain happy and clicking. All right. Is there a wellness survey page that's already been created for GetOiling? There is not, but we can add that to the list. We will add that to our template wish list. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know we went a little over today, but we had a lot of great questions. Super glad that you guys got to see Paula's work, because that's always gorgeous. By the way, check her out on our partners page on our website. She has some really awesome courses and done for you work, especially for those of you who are interested in maybe teaching oils of ancient scripture. Definitely check her out. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We'll see you next week, same time. Have a great week, everybody.